I see a lot of that they don't want a good woman until they get their heart broken by a hoe. I seen it. The good girl is corny. She corny to you until that fucking bartender stripping ass bitch. Now she got you crying and you listening to One Wish by Ray J. Now you want to go back to the bitch with the glasses.
The ladies are asking, what do men really want? Welcome back. How are you guys doing? I bet you're doing good. Thank you for tuning in. Let's jump right into today's gist. It is so interesting. Credit to the creators for giving us this opportunity to hide our comment. Go down there in the comment section if you can. And let's make this gist, let's make it fun. The ladies, they are just popping the questions like, men, what do y'all really want? And some men, they got it. Some men are just coming up and they are right here to speak up. I am going to be rolling your clips. Credit to the creators for giving us this opportunity to add our comments. Let's roll the tapes, guys. Then we are going to add more commentary at the end of the video.
And don't appreciate good women. Point blank, it's the way guys view relationships. It's our mentality for looking at a long-term relationship and not appreciating it and not wanting it. A lot of guys, and they're not going to tell you this, but we have a syndrome where we always want the next best thing. Especially if I'm a young guy and we build a relationship, we get comfortable. What happens is like, all right, I know what I have now, but what else is out there? Is there something out there that is better? The other problem is a lot of guys have it so good. We meet so many girls that are willing to be very loyal and good to us. So I think what happens is a lot of girls meet a lot of shitty dudes, where a lot of good guys meet a lot of good girls. So we don't get caught up in the mindset of, oh my God, they do so much for me, because we're like, you know what? The next girl will do so much for me too. So if you're wondering why he doesn't appreciate you, 1, he's oblivious. 2, he feels like he can get it elsewhere. And 3, he's not ready for a long-term commitment.
What does men really want in a relationship? They claim they want a good woman, right? But when they get a good woman, they still go out and they cheat. Why? It's like when a woman disrespect them and cuss them out and talk to them like a dog, that woman seemed to get better treatment than the woman who would wash his feet and even drink the water. Men, what do you really want? It doesn't matter if a woman, she has a decent job, she cooks, she cleans, she's skin up in the bed with like all the letters of the alphabet. She could have pretty like her money, wanna still go out there and cheat. I don't get it. What's the problem? Men, what are you really looking for in a woman? Why isn't one woman enough for you? Huh? Answer that.
Hey everyone. A person can feel like they can treat you like crap over and over and over again, disregard your feelings, make you feel like you're less important than anybody else in their life, expect your forgiveness over and over again, continue to break their word to you until you've come to the point where you don't even care if they break their word anymore. Because through all that pain, you've lost something for them. It's not that you don't love them. It's not even that you want to leave the person or not be their friend or their partner anymore. Maybe you've just accepted that they aren't the person that you always wanted them to be or that you thought they were. And you have not only lost faith in them, you've lost hope for the relationship and you've become numb. You don't even expect them to do right by you anymore. You're all cried out. You're done having your feelings hurt and you're emotionally disconnected. So how is it that a person who can take you through all of that anguish, all of that pain, how is it that they can expect you just to go back to the way you used to be with them? You know, when you had faith in them, when you trusted them, when you didn't see how selfish they really were, how self-absorbed they were, when it seemed like they cared about your feelings, they cared about protecting your heart, when you thought they were the person that wouldn't purposely do anything to make you feel bad, to disrespect you. You see, sometimes when you stop complaining, when you stop saying what bothers you, when you stop trying to convince that person that what they're doing to hurt you is just wrong and they're taking you for granted, for some reason, they think that you've forgotten it, that it's over with. They have this crazy notion in their head that they don't have to make up for anything now. It's over. I'm forgiven. And then when you don't give them the love, respect, honor that they think they deserve, they try to make you feel guilty. Then you're the mean one. You're the one that's not doing right by them. You know why they feel that way? Because selfish, self-absorbed people are only affected by their own pain. They're only affected when they feel like they're losing something, when they're not getting from you what they desire. And then it's the woe is me. Suddenly they're lonely. They miss you. They want to know how to make things right, how to get things back, how to feel attached to them again. They want to know what they can do to make you feel like you used to feel about them. But when you were telling them, when you were telling that person that whole time, you're hurting me. You're disrespecting me. Please don't do that. That's not right. You shouldn't treat me that way. Not to mention all the times you've forgiven them. You see, that's the part they try to leave out. They try to smooth over. Because their focus now is on everything you're not doing for them. On all the ways you're not making them feel comfortable, secure, loved. They don't feel important. But they conveniently leave out why you feel that way toward them. Those are the people who will never accept responsibility for the things that they do to other people because they're too damn selfish to do some self-examination. Listen, don't you dare let those people make you feel guilty for feeling the way you do, because it was because of them that caused that. Do not take credit for the way they treated you. You just take credit for what you allowed them to do to you from this point on. I love you. Be well.
Find a man because men do not like good girls. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm going to explain to you why, but men do not like good girls. So for the purpose of this video, when I say good girl, I'm referring to a girl who just stays out of the mix, minds her business, goes to work, goes to school, doesn't really post too much on Instagram or TikTok, doesn't really want attention from strangers, isn't promiscuous, doesn't really show off her body, and so on and so forth, right? And you would think that that is what a man would want, but the reality of the situation is that's the opposite of what most of them want. Why, though? Why don't they like good girls? Here's a little bit of context. These days, men are not saying they want a good bitch, right? They say they want a bad bitch. And they use the word bad to explain a woman who is hot or sexy or promiscuous because it refers to the things that she's gonna do in bed, which are naughty, which are bad, right? So that's one of the reasons why they don't like good girls, is because they think that when you are bad, you are going to be better in bed. Second is, most men these days are not on the hunt for a woman who's going to be a good mother to their children. Most men these days are quick to knock up any woman and let her have his kids without stopping to think, is she going to be a good mother? So that's one of the other reasons why they're not on the hunt for good women. Third is, most good girls are predictable. That's why they're good. They're predictable. They follow society's expectations of what a good girl should be. They follow their parents' expectations of what a good woman should be. And that doesn't excite men. We know that men like pain. We know that men like toxic women. We know that men like problems in their relationships. That's what keeps them in it. That's what keeps them excited. They're sick. They're mentally twisted. But this is reality. This is the reality of the situation. That is why the good girls get treated the worst, because they're not exciting. They're bland. They're predictable. Fourth is that most bad girls are selfish. And selfishness actually makes men work harder to be in a relationship with you, because most good girls are people pleasers. Most good girls are satisfied with the bare minimum because they're good, right? They don't want to ask for too much because that's bad, right? These are all things that society made up for us to follow, but when you categorize yourself as a good girl, what you're telling the man is, I will go above and beyond to please you. You don't have to go above and beyond to please me because I'm satisfied with the bare minimum. That's not what they want. And that's why the bad girls, the toxic girls, the ones who ask for too much, constantly get provided for, constantly get what they want, because men like that. They like having a little higher. They like having to always do a little more. That's what excites them and keeps them in the relationship. And lastly, most good girls are waiting to be picked, and most bad girls don't want to be picked. And that's why the men always go for the women that they know are out of their league, because they're like, if I can just get her, if I can just convince her to look at me, if I can just get a minute of her attention. Whereas with the good girl, it's not that much of a reward, because the good girl is expecting to be picked. She is waiting to pour her love into someone else. Now, the point of this TikTok is not to make good girls feel like they have to start being bad girls. But if I have one piece of advice for good girls who want to find a man, it's to pretend to be a bad girl. Because to be honest, they're not smart enough to tell the difference. So all you gotta do is just pretend that you are a bitch. Okay? And you gotta make them work a little harder for your attention, even though deep down inside, you wanna pour your love into them. You wanna give them affection. You wanna praise them. You wanna please them. That's fine. Those are not bad things. You just can't do it right off the bat because they wanna hunt. They want to pursue. They want to be challenged. And you got to play the game. You got to play the game. If you want a man who actually values you, you got to play the game. You got to make him feel like you could walk away at any minute. So he better cross his fucking T's and dot his I's. You know what I mean? And that's really difficult for a lot of good girls to do. So my piece of advice is just watch what the women that they are following on Instagram and social media are talking about and posting, and pretend to be like that. Just pretend. You don't have to actually be like that. Just pretend. Because as long as you are a good girl and you define yourself as a good girl, men are going to wait until they have ran through all the women that they want to run through, and then they're going to come pick you. And by then, you're going to be disgusted by them. You're going to be like, I don't even want you. You went through all these women, and now you want a good girl. No, babe. That's not how it works. You got to pretend to be bad, pretend to be a bitch, and make him think that his life is going to suck without you. And you could walk away at any moment until you have him on luck. Then you could open up. Then you could start showing your love. Then you could start showing affection. Then they feel like they earned it. And then they value it even more. So don't be loving, don't be good, don't be giving right off the bat. Don't change yourself. Just pretend. Just pretend, okay?
Bothers me as a man. It bothers me. There's a lot of good women out there that a lot of men don't appreciate. Like, what happened to asking a girl out to dinner, holding the door maybe a few times, all the time? Like, what's wrong with that? Like there are women that I constantly see that get hurt and abused emotionally, physically, spiritually, and it's like, men, we don't value good women no more. And it's like, when are we gonna like change and understand that, like, yo, she's a good one. I'm actually going to appreciate this girl. I'm actually going to take this girl seriously. I'm actually going to invest my time and show her that I could be the one for her. This is the problem in society. Like, men got to do better. And as a man, I'm going to stand on that. Like, we have to do better for our queen.
Nice women. And men don't love women they don't respect. If you want to be the one that he wants, being a nice girl and playing nice is not going to get you there. Stop saying stuff like, sure, I understand, no worries. And instead, tell him how you really feel. I do like, I don't like, I feel comfortable with this, but not that. If he talks about himself too much, just start yawning. Tell him, I feel bored. He will respect you because of your authenticity and your honesty. And as he respects you, he will come to love you and appreciate you more because he's getting the real you. So stop showing up and dating how you think he wants you to be. You're robbing yourself of the opportunity to be fully seen and fully known by him. And ultimately, if he falls in love with you, he'll be falling in love with a fake version of you. So there you have it, darling. Rock the boat a bit in your relationship. Speak up for what it is that you want. Stop self-abandoning just to make the other person happy. You can have what you want, but you have to speak up.
I love when y'all send me y'all dilemmas. Never stop doing that. Let's get into it. This woman hit me up and said that when she's dating, she presents as a good woman because that's what she is. And I feel you, sis. But men don't value a good woman, she says. She also says, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I try to be a good listener. I try to understand them. But she keeps getting taken for granted. So I want to address two things in that. Actually, I just want to address one thing, and then I'm going to explain why. Because she says, why is this happening? If I can help her out understand it. So I want to address this. I actually think men do value a good woman. I think men value all women. I just don't think they value us in a way that we want to be valued. Right? Men value women in a way that is connected to the way that they rely on women. For cooking, for cleaning, for the emotional labor that you have to do when you're in a relationship with a man, for styling, for career advancement, because I can tell you so many 6, 7, and 8-figure men have told me that their careers skyrocketed once they attached themselves to a woman long term because people started to take them more seriously. They definitely value us in these ways, but it doesn't translate into the appreciation that value means to us. Like, they value us for what we can do for them, but not in a way that translates into them appreciating us. And I think that disconnect in value and how men and women perceive value is an issue all on its own. But let's get into the dilemma. When you look out in the world, any relationship between two things is give or taker, right? One is a giver, one is a taker. Even in electronics, right? There's the plug and there's the thing that the plug goes inside of. They call it male and female, even in the electronic world, right? That's just the nature of things. There's nothing wrong with this relationship. When we shrink that down to look at heterosexual romance, we're going to find the same dynamic. One person is going to be a giver, the other person is going to be a taker. Now, most often, because of the way we're socialized, we see women in the giver role and we see men in the taker role. Let me say two things before I go any further. No one is a giver 100% of the time in a relationship, and no one is a taker 100% of the time in a relationship. In the best of relationships, you'll find two givers, and they're just pouring into one another. They got one hand on the wheel, each of them, at all times, and it's beautiful and it's healthy, and it's what we all aspire to, right? You will not find two takers in a relationship. You just won't. They will repel each other. When you advertise yourself in this manner as the giver, then you're going to attract way more takers, and honestly, more aggressive takers than if you actually started presenting as the taker. Like, that's the philosophy behind what I'm saying when I am encouraging women to lead with their toxic foot first. Like I said earlier, even if you are a giver at heart, you're not a giver 100% of the time. Like, let's be for real. Everybody has flaws. Lead with your flaws first. Like, I know that I'm not perfect, and I try to lead with my flaws first, because for me, it does help me kind of weed out men who are expecting free labor from me. It weeds out men who are looking for somebody that they can take advantage of. If you feel like you can relate to what this woman is saying, please watch my videos on how to lead with your toxic foot first and why presenting as a good woman is not a good idea. Because it's gonna save you so much time, and it's gonna help you weed out so many of the musty crust dusties. Hope that helps. If it didn't, that's on me. I'm sorry.
Credit to the creators for giving us this opportunity to add our comment. Y'all know we cannot say enough of that, because if they are not coming out to open this communication, this conversation, this debate, this topic, this education, this enlightenment, y'all see we can go on and on what these creators are doing. That's what I say. Credit to the creators for giving us this opportunity. Let's make this gist so fun. Add your comment down there. Are the men paying attention? And let's give credit to the men that that they are popping up and fighting for their woman. And they got it, and they want other men to get it. Come on, man. When you got a good woman, just keep her. You do not want your woman to be pretending. You know what I mean? It gotta be a love giving, a love receiving. Just like one of the creators said, it has to be a give and take. A give and take. When you love your woman, for sure, she's gonna return it with love. It's not complicated. Do not let us make it complicated. I am gonna leave you with this next clip. You can add your comment down there. How do you feel about these men? Like, do they really know what they want? Not all of them, not all. Because we can see some are coming out like they are fighting for their woman and they are keeping their woman. I am gonna see you in the next one. Bye for now.
Figured it out. This is one of the biggest mistakes a guy can make while in a relationship, and also why a lot of relationships fail. Men don't appreciate their woman as much as they should. The guy ends up getting the girl that he wants, and then when he gets her, he treats her right for the first few weeks, maybe the first few months, and then out of nowhere, he just stopped doing the things that he was doing once they started talking. And then he starts to become complacent because now he feels like, oh, I got the girl that I want. Now I don't have to do as much as I was doing before. She's okay with the bare minimum. I don't got to take her out on dates. I don't got to, buy her flowers or fancy things because, I got the woman that I wanted. And him not realizing it, now it starts to become a one-sided relationship in which his girl feels like, he doesn't love her. He's not showing his affection. He's not buying her flowers. He's not taking her out to dinner. He's not doing any of those things that, he was doing once before. And this also brings out the insecurities in her because you're not showing her anything that makes her feel loved. And now, since he stopped trying, she doesn't feel like he wants her, and she starts feeling more used than in an actual relationship with him. And what's even crazier is that a lot of women will even throw out hints to y'all. Like, she'll post it or she'll say certain things and hoping that you would catch on, but that is never the case. And then it gets to a point where she's done expressed it so many times that she is just checked out. She is drained. She is no longer going to tell you what she needs or how she should be treated.
And no matter if by the grace of God that you decide, oh, I'm going to start coming around more. I'm going to start telling her that she's beautiful. I'm going to start being more affectionate or taking her out on dates or, buying her gifts or doing everything that I didn't do before. She is not going to want to hear it. You already done missed out on that opportunity. You cannot make up for lost time that you should have spent with her before. Because once she starts becoming cold and start treating you how you treated her, there is no turning back. So what you ain't do, another guy will. So take that L in silence, my guy, but y'all stay safe out